stray electricity from up there. Let it go. So modesty is important. Not to overstate oneself. But in some way I can be aware of what I have accomplished so far. And then present that as best I can. Leave it open to criticism, or maybe someone has the ability to see, I can see what Lars is trying to achieve, but that needs to be a little bit better. This thing, he can adjust a little bit. There he needs to calm down a little bit more, and so on. And this is the benefit of the greatness of the internet. And then, if I have achieved something and people can pick up on it, maybe it helps someone. The wave sharpens the blade. Speaking as I exhale, allowing my voice to change as it feels natural to do so. The wave sharpens the blade. Blade. The wave sharpens the blade. So when this mechanism down here starts to connect and starts to, you know, starts to purr, then yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like, then you have a wheel, you know, those wheels you use to sharpen a blade with. It's like a wheel of stone or concrete, and on the outside it has a certain roughness. So think about sharpening a blade. What are the principles of sharpening a blade? What is the art form of sharpening a blade? Think about that. Have you ever sharpened a blade? What do you need to be mindful of in order to make the blade really, really nice and sharp, and such that the sharpness is consistent the whole way along the blade? You need to get that wheel needs to be rotating very, very consistently, very smoothly, and then when you have the blade, you'll also have to and you You have to be very, very fine and smooth, and keep it very consistent, and be aware of the exact right amount of resistance and pressure as you sharpen the blade. And then when you've sharpened the blade as sharp as it can get, with those using that speed and that resistance and that motion and that angle, then and that type of steel, then you may think, well, I have a really awesome, really sharp blade here. Actually, you can make the blade much sharper. What do you need to do? You need to just change the roughness of the wheel. If you can get a finer wheel, and then you use less resistance. So first you were like, and then it's you even lighter. And then you have a really, 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 really sharp blade. But even then you can still make it sharper. So this is the same way in this method that we sharpen the mind. Okay. So when this mechanism down here starts to connect, then the mind can become immersed in that, and then all those rough edges, stray emotions, electrical, thoughts, everything. And thoughts is not just up here, it's also in here. This tension you feel in your shoulder, it's because there's a short circuit, okay? So that means as we get this wheel starting to spin here, then we inhale, and then as we exhale, we trace the exhale through, and then we pick up stray bits of electricity and stray bits of tension and pick it up, down. First, we may need to get it rolling down here, the abdominal breathing, natural abdominal breathing. When that starts to work, then we can allow that abdominal breathing to, like it was just there, and then it's up here and then here, and then it will start to envelop the whole body. And then once we have a breathing pattern that envelops the whole body, and that's not breathing, we're not just talking about the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Within the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, there is an exchange of ions. Within the diffusion of those ions into the cells and back, there's other exchanges taking place. So there's a breath within a breath within a breath within a breath within a breath. So it's kind of like a quantum breath in some way. But everything we just explained, we had to use a thought construct to think of that, right? But at least it gave us a framework that's going to help us, right? So I'm going to come back to center here, and I'm going to start sharpening the blade. Yeah, the position is important. I like some pillows to raise my perineum so that I have something to build on as I start to inflate that buoyancy, that dynamic breath going through the buoyancy and tying the whole body together and developing my body mind in this way. So what I'm doing now, I'm pushing it into my abdominal space. But once I've pushed all of the air out and I've reached almost the limit, I don't want to force it, but as I've reached almost the limit of that I can push into this abdominal space, then from that point I let it go. And then it inflates in the whole bot through the whole, and that waveform, or those waveforms, very complex. It's not just one thing, but it from there I follow it through as it rises, and then it gets to the top. I let it go, and slowly I follow it. I trace it. I trace it. I trace it through my body, back to that closing into the space. The exhale is important, almost more important than inhale. So that when I've pushed everything out, all I have to do is let it go, and then I just follow it, trace it through. And I have to stay upright too. Of course, we can do like this. Inhale and stretch back, exhale. And let all of the joints of the body change. And then, you can experiment with finding, new natural waveforms, movement that you can play around with. But it's important to spend some time to stay upright as well. And I've got the live stream, the screen facing me, so it's like a mirror. So I'm aware that this shoulder is coming up a little bit, so I can adjust myself accordingly. Yeah, that's one way, is like, playing around with that somatic waveform, and stretching as well. Closing in, opening out, stretching back, and it's like it's an arc going back like that, and now it's closing in towards the center. So there's that, and then there's another way where we can push, fully exhale out, and then as we let it go, then feel it coming up the body and going, just projecting straight up. And then when we let go, as we trace through, we, from the top cervical, see if we can feel the top cervical vertebra, and then let that vertebra go, click, let the vertebra, and then as I exhale, I get to the next one, and then trace it through until I get to my thoracic vertebrae, and trace it through, and this should be a somatic experience. It shouldn't be just a visualization. We should be able to feel at least to some degree, even if it's just a little bit, just work with it. Feel the top cervical vertebra relax down as I exhale and the breath traces down. And then, but the first cervical vertebra should stay there, but then that one goes click, and then that one goes click, and then that one goes click, and then I follow it down my spine. But this one should stay here with the buoyancy, because as we inhale, it should be that inflates the buoyancy through the fascia and the structures of the body, and then inflates it up, so that empty uprising force can suspend the body that way, and that buoyancy keeps it buoyant upwards as the vertebra fall down. As the vertebra fall down, that buoyancy is still going up. So if we can manage to do this vertebrae breathing, then it shouldn't. You shouldn't be doing this. That's a different thing. So these are two different ways. But yeah, again, nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed. We should never need to try to keep something fixed in place. If I'm trying to keep something fixed in place, then that's not quite right. So now I'm just pretty much doing the first way, closing, exhaling, closing to a point, letting it go, and basically allowing my body to mediate out and kind of find a baseline around this uprising energy. fully deflate, deflate, deflate. If I feel vibrations, if I feel electricity, if I feel heat, if I feel tingling, whatever the sensation, when I fully exhaled, I breathe into it, breathe into it. So when that tingling or electrical or heat or whatever it is, it's going to start, and you're going to exhale fully, and then it's going to start, and then you're going to breathe into it, and it's already started. But then when you breathe into it, then those electrical, tingling, heat, it's going to amplify it. So then the important thing is, if you can do that, if you can feel the heat and the whatever the sensation is that's happening, it's very important that when I fully inflate, as I start to exhale and trace through, then I let it go. I let go of the heat. I let go of the electricity. I let go of the sensation, and I let it go through the axis, the synapse, facilitated by my vagus nerve, which balances my sympathetic, fight or flight system with my parasympathetic relaxation, letting go, potential energy system. Okay, so as I exhale, I have to let whatever energy, whether it was heat or electricity or whatever that became amplified during the inhale. As I exhale, I trace through, and whatever I can let go, whatever sensation, electricity, heat that I scan through it. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let go, let it go through that and into the parasympathetic aspect, to be stored as potential energy. Okay, very important, because if people and this happened to me in the beginning too, because I felt something, heat, electricity, and I could almost, I could make little sparks with my finger, between my fingertips. I could turn off the light, I could see little sparks, and I thought, ooh, awesome. Okay, and I became attached to, and this happened, not just me, other people as well, this can happen. Okay, you become attached to this electricity or heat or whatever, and you try to develop something, and then it overstimulates the nervous system. Okay, it's going to cause insomnia, it's going to cause irritability, it's going to, someone's going to internally combust at an extreme, or it's going to cause emotional imbalances, physical imbalances, and even death in an extreme case, very extreme. It's pretty safe, but the thing is, during the exhale, we have to let go, let go, let go, let it go through the axis provided by the vagus nerve and through into the parasympathetic, and stored as relaxed potential energy. Okay. Okay. Yep. So hopefully people are sitting in a comfortable way, on a pillow, on the ground, on a chair, you know, or lying on the bed, you know, whatever feels comfortable. Use mind and not force. So I'm going to make a I'm going to make a transcript, and then I'm going to put it through Grok, and then I think I'm going to make a song that that will, you know, sum up everything that we've been over in this live stream in in a nice way.